nchini, tupate kusikia.
That will be available to our stakeholders, candidates, political parties, and it will also be available on our website. So all the talks about the register should await the gazettement of the register, publication of the register, as well as then sharing with the stakeholders. So the Commission assures Kenyans that their data is intact and that the ongoing processes are just to ensure that we have a clean register in readiness for elections. So let's not talk about 1 million names missing. There's no such thing. It's not there. The 1 million names we are talking about are for those who applied for transfers. And we are undergoing the process of ensuring that the proper transfers are effected. Yes, there are cases where polling centers were degazetted because of the request by the owners of those institutions, and new polling centers were created, and that then would amount to movement of the voters from that polling station to the center to the next center. But those are then aspects that will be made very clear to Kenyans. And lastly, on the register, I want to say that yes, we are stopping voter verification today, but the aspects of SMS and online portal will continue. So until election time, so Kenyans can still check their SMS through SMS and online. You check their registration status. And lastly, on that issue, 7 days before election, every polling station shall have a printout of the register for that polling station. So with all these processes, it's a transparent process. Anybody will be able to check where they are voting. And let's stop this speculation about the register. Another issue which has been occupying media space, and we have also seen it, we received the report from EACC yesterday evening. I've just seen it, the official one, today. The Commission will retreat in the course of the day after these proceedings and look at the report. But as you all know, the clearance of candidates is ongoing. We shall, of course, look at the report. It's the Commission that wrote to EACC and forwarded the names of the candidates. And the information from EACC is information that we asked. So we shall look at it and then make a statement maybe in the course of tomorrow on the way forward. But I just want to say that clearance of candidate is ongoing. It is being done in accordance with the law. And we shall follow the law to the letter. Maybe just to add that concerned, remember all these candidates, when they go for clearance, they must have a self-declaration form before they are cleared. And all of them have a self-declaration form stamped by EACC. So when we are clearing candidates. But we shall issue our statement on this matter tomorrow once the Commission looks at the report. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, my name is Emmanuel Tor from KTN News. Just one question. When do we expect the KPMG report to be out? Exactly when? Thank you.
We have not been given a date. I think it will be a mutual date between us and KPMG, but that should be sometimes next week. I believe next week, anytime, we shall inform you about the date for the report.
My name is Brenda Wanga from Citizen TV. I have two questions. One on the register. What is the process of reinstating a voter to their rightful polling station? Because we've spoken to a few voters who, for example, one in Dagoretti who had registered at a center there, but on checking their details, they find that they have been moved to Migori. So what will be the rightful process of making sure that this person votes where they have been voting in the past? Also, some of them go to their polling stations and they don't find their names, they don't find their details, they didn't apply for any transfers, and they have been voting at that station for the longest time possible. Secondly, regarding the EACC, one of the candidates that had come before you for clearance, Justice Juma, complains that you cleared him previously, and you have accepted his documents based on his national identity card, which he showed us, and the details of that card and the details that come from the EACC are different. So how do you explain that? Thank you.
On the issue of the voters and a voter finding himself in a different polling station, there are two scenarios. One, either he or she applied to be transferred, and there has to be a transfer form. Or two, number two, if there's that incident, then we would advise the voter to go to the nearest returning officer, and because the register is in the hands of the returning officer, and then that will be addressed. If there's any such voter, then they should visit the nearest returning officer or the returning officer in their station, and then the issue will be addressed. Because they should not just sit back and wait. And that's why we have all these processes. The issue of the Justice Juma, I saw the ESCC report, although I've not read through it, but it's item number 1 in the ESCC report saying that his ID, the ID he's using, belongs to somebody else. I looked at roughly at the report, and yes, we cleared him last time. Just as Juma, the data captured by ESCC is actually not the full data of his ID. Just as Juma's ID has no problem, it is ESCC that captured, I believe, the wrong data. And we, as a commission, we have no problem just as Juma's identity card. That's why our rejection for his candidature was not based on the information from ESCC. It is based on the fact that he had insufficient supporters' signatures. And that's why we are saying we shall look at that report in detail of the ESCC. And yes, we shall pick out some areas which then cause disqualification in the law, but where it doesn't affect candidates' qualification or disqualifications, then we shall treat it as such. Thank you.
Bwana Chair, jina langu ni Mike kutoka TV 47. Niruhusu niseme kwa lugha ya taifa. Iwapo kama tume mtaketi chini kuafiki ama kuangazia yale matokeo ya EACC, wale ambao washadhibitishwa na tume ya IEBC, kwa mfano mbunge wa Sirisia ambaye ashapatiwa cheti cha kuendelea kupigania kiti chake, kutendaje? Pana uwezekano wa kuregesha ama kumnyang'anya kile cheti, na wengine ambao vile vile washadhibitishwa kutakwenda namna gani?
You want me to speak in Swahili or English? Okay. Now, as I said, we have been clearing candidates on the basis of the legal framework which we have. And we mentioned last time that under Article 75 of the Constitution, those who have been impeached stay impeached, and we shall treat them as such. Those who have other matters, like the ones you have mentioned, convicted but having an appeal, the Commission follows the direction of Article 99(3), that as long as you have an appeal, of course, we cannot stop you from running, and I think that's why the returning officer in Sirisia cleared the gentleman you have talked about. But I'm also alive to the fact that there is a court case. The Honorable Chief Justice has constituted a 3-judge bench to hear a case relating to integrity, And I would appeal that that case then be heard as soon as possible within this framework of 2 weeks before the Commission starts preparing the ballot papers. So that if there's any directions from the court on the issue of integrity and the clearance, then we shall incorporate the decision of the High Court. But as far as we are concerned, we shall follow the law as it is, and we have no reason to depart from it. Thank you.
Madam Chairman, just a follow-up on the questions that asked earlier. You didn't answer the question on cases of people missing their names altogether in the register when they did not initiate any transfer. And secondly, you talked about it earlier, but just maybe for reinforcement, can you assure Kenyans that the voter register is safe and that no one has tampered with it and no one has infiltrated it at this moment?
Yes, thank you. I did say that if a voter registered and has that slip and his or her name cannot be found, they should report to our staff at the constituency or county or wherever they are, and we shall attend to them. So I don't have data on the missing voters. If you have, please advise them to see us at any polling station, at any registration center, and we shall attend to them. So we don't have statistics on these missing persons in the registers you are talking about. And I also want to state clearly that the data on the register of voters is intact. We had 19.6 million voters in 2017. We now have a database of 22.5 million plus, which is deduplicated and is under audit. And that is the data we have. We also have a few multiple cases where people are registering 2-3 times. I think about 166,000, which by the end of today, it will have been sorted out. And at the end of the day, we shall then have a final register on or before 9th. I want to assure Kenyans again that their data is safe, there's been no breach, and we shall have a register on or before 9th of June this year in readiness for elections. I believe, Brenda, I've answered your question. Yeah, thank you. So we meet at 2 p.m. for the other candidates. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And as the chairman has said, the commission is alive to misinformation and disinformation, and the commission is available to give you any verification.
Mtazamaji